over there shooting? Is he how far away?
He's still a little while. I think everybody saw the footage. It was pretty bad, and it was a high ankle sprain. So, but he's made good progress the last week. So, from here on, it's just a wait and see. You couldn't put a date on it.
It was about a month initially, I think, the prognosis. So it'll be a month tomorrow, I think.
So and as you can see, he's starting to move and shoot, and starting to get more flexion in the ankle. So, hopefully it's not too long, but we'll wait and see.
Big game this weekend, but first of all, last week we just said to Jack, how important was it to get that win, just with the confidence of the boys?
Yeah, I think we've been playing some pretty good basketball. We played well against Cairns, played some really good ball there, and felt like getting back to New Zealand. We played some good basketball there. It was a good game. Played some solid basketball against Illawarra. Obviously, the overtime stuff has been well documented. And then Melbourne felt like we put it together on, probably one of our more complete performances, and one of those games where we've been up 20 and we've finished the game and we've won by 10. I think this game we got up 20, got to the last quarter and we actually maintained it. It was something that was, we've been focused on, staying disciplined down the stretch and being able to complete the games in the right way. So we're really happy with that against a very good team.
Is that the standard now, mate, that you've got to try and hold for the last 5 games of the year and then heading into the playoffs?
I think every team that's in the hunt where we are talking about trying to hold what the best version of themselves is, and I think we got to win by 20. Probably not at this time of year. Everything's really tight, but there was definitely some characteristics in that game that we'd like to replicate. In this back half of the year, if you can replicate that against these really good teams, and we consider ourselves one of those teams, then we want to do that. You got to bring it for 40 minutes because everybody's in the hunt right now, as the ladder indicates.
A lot of the physicality too was really high with Mags and Fav, even when he came on. Is that, I guess, pleasing to have that heading into this game against New Zealand?
Yeah, no question. I think there's 3 teams that play very similar: New Zealand, Melbourne United, and Brisbane, sort of in with us. And then there's some different styles in the league that are all successful in their own right. But we do find, the Melbourne United games, New Zealand, Brisbane are very, very, very physical. I don't think this week will be any different. Probably the separator might possibly be the team that fouls the least. They've shot a lot of free throws, New Zealand, in the past, and we've had our issues. We feel like we've tidied some of those things up. We have to do it, week in, week out now, because there's going to be a small margin of error.
We played them a lot, obviously, in New Zealand, and did well over there against them last time. They did us on Christmas, New Year's Day, but as I said, Jack, was the sort of trick to beating them, do you think, from a coaching perspective?
There's multiple things. I think the first thing is you've got to keep the ball in front of you. Simple to say. When Cartwright's got the ball, it's difficult to do. All right, so from that standpoint, collectively, it's got to be a team effort from the D-Trans standpoint. And then they have some multiple scorers. They can score above the rim with Cheatham. Mango caused us some problems in that last encounter. And then there's the whole package of Lamb that we've got to deal with. And we did a solid job in New Zealand with him. He got in a little bit of foul trouble. When you come back in, he wasn't a real factor. But he's given every team some problems. So just being able to keep those guys under control. You're not going to stop them. They're not going to have zero. Both of them will probably be, they're going to score 10 plus points because they have enough possessions, but not letting them get totally off the hook from that standpoint. And then on the other end, it's like what we do, and we know the best version of us is when the ball's flying around offensively. We've got good rim attack, and we've played through our bigs quite a bit the last few weeks with Mags and Marcus in good form. We think that gives us a good inside-outside balance.
How good was it seeing Mags in full flight? That's some of those blocks last weekend. It's pretty special players.
Yeah, Mags at full flight and in the best version of him and really healthy. He's the best centre in the league in my eyes, and I think he'll stay healthy. I'm really positive about that. He's done everything possible. He's in good form. He's expanded his game in the post. He's confident. And we've got a very good player, and he'll be really important for us this back end of the year when the game's going to be won very close to the rim. You don't see too many playoff games, which the next 5-6 games are playoff games. You don't see team's just racking up 14, 15, 16 three-point attempts. The defence is too good, and the game's going to be won and lost at the rim on most weeks.
He's been linked with the Boomers a little bit lately. Would that make sense to you to see him in that squad?
Well, I'd love to see any of our players in that squad, let alone Mags. He come through the junior pathway. He's been represented Australia at junior level at different stages, and if he gets that opportunity, to put the green and gold on, like, it's a special moment, and I'm sure he'd love to do that again. And to be a jack jumper and a boomer, it's got a good ring to it.
It's been great to see Mags back, but also to have Marcus continue to improve. I know we talked earlier in the year and you really talked up Marcus's game. How pleased with the coach expected to be to see Marcus and Mags tag team in that role?
Yeah, I think it was quite ironic. Like, Marcus come off the court the other night and he goes, "We've got to keep Mags out of foul trouble." And I thought that's quite ironic, isn't it? Like, it was tongue in cheek, obviously, but just they're very similar, but they're different, and they bring different things to our group. So it's a good tandem. It gives us good rim protection, and I think I said earlier, Marcus's skill set of his passing and his ability to play with the guards is really, really good. And then Mags' post play with his strength, and that's started to evolve even more. So they're a very, very good combination for us.
Jordan, good game for him too after some lean scoring games, I suppose. Good to see him back in the basket, I suppose.
Yeah, it's always good to see the ball go through the net. I thought the other night his game was just really efficient. He took really good shots. He felt like the synergy with Milt was probably at its best it's been, and you might look at Milt's numbers, and because a couple of weeks ago he had 31 against Cairns, and you don't see him high in the scoring stakes. I felt like it was just his best all-round game of just connecting everybody, which, if Milt Orr can do that for us, finishes with 6 or 7 assists, 6 or 7 rebounds, he'll get his 12 to 15 points on a bad night. And him and Jordan's synergy, I think that can really bode well for us.
You said you've been to this stadium before in New Zealand. How different is it to Spark? Is it a bit more good,
Yeah, obviously it's not. Yeah, I've been to the North Shore Event Centre. I'm not sure what it's called now, but that's where New Zealand originally played, and I can remember back then. I've been in there, been some tough losses in there with the Mick of the Kona era, and Andre Lamanis. Through that period, they were very, very good. But I think the rims are 10 foot, the floor's 94 feet. We'll get on a bus to go to the stadium. Let's go.
No excuses.
No excuses.